Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, in this video I'm going to build and to configure MPLS VPN network. Here I already have a lot of routers. There are 7 routers here. And by the way, I'm using Cisco routers for this occasion. And for the MPLS backbone, I only have 3 routers here. PE1, PE router, and PE2 router. For those you that don't know yet, PE stands for provider edge router, and P router stands for provider router, and CE stands for customer edge router. So MPLS is one of the technology in networking that can be better than traditional IP routing. When in this technology we use label to forward the packets, so it can be faster forwarding faster packet forwarding than traditional IP network, and it's often used for service provider to give their uh, services to the customers to make the forwarding and to make the speed of forwarding the packet is faster and better. Okay, now I have configured the basic configuration such as hostname and IP addresses to all of these routers just to make it quicker. Now let's jump to the P router first. I think I'm gonna start from this one, PE1. I'm sorry, wait. Okay, let's start from PE1. If I do show IP interface brief, you can see I have assigned the 2 IP addresses, one for the Ethernet 0/0 interface and the other one for loopback interface. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to configure the routing protocol or SPF only in the MPLS backbone to for these 3 routers, PE1, P router, and PE2 router. Okay, let's configure just normal configuration. Router or SPF, for example, 1 for the process ID, and then network 1.1.1. I'm sorry, for the network is 1.1.1.1 is for the loopback interface, and the wildcard mask is quad 0. And then network for this one, 12.12.12.0 with the /30 wildcard mask is 0.0.3 and area 0. Okay, I think it's enough. And then we are jump to P router. Just do the same thing. For SPF1 network 2.2.2.2 with quad 0 as wildcard mask and area 0. Then network 12.12.12.0 Oh wait, there was a misconfiguration. Let's remove this configuration first. I'm sorry, because I'm using slice 24. That means the wildcard mask should be 000.255. I'm sorry. Okay, here down to 55 and area 0 dot 0.255 area 0 and then for 20.20.0 255 area 0. Next for PE2 or SPF1 and for 3.3.3 quad 0 wildcard mask and area 0, and then at for 23.23.23.0 255 area 0. And it will take a little time uh, to build SPF GNC like this from these three routers. Just wait a minute. Okay, so there was a misconfiguration also. I forgot to assign the IP address for interface 0/0 for PE2, but I've just done it. I just assigned the IP address for interface 0/0, and now the SPF has been up. And let's try to do show IP port. Okay, it's been successful for the normal SPF configuration. Let's try the connectivity test. Ping from PE2 to the loopback interface of PE1. And it's been success. Okay, after configuring the SPF configuration, now I'm going to continue to enable the MPLS to all of these three routers, and by using router SPF we can do that. We can enable MPLS automatically within router SPF configuration. Let me show you. You can go back to the router SPF1 configuration. For example, this is from P router, and then just type this command mpls ldp autoconfig and hit enter. Next, passive interface default, and then now passive interface internet 0/0 and internet 0/1. Okay, passive interface is, if I'm not mistaken, that means the interface that will not forward or will not receive about any OSPF packets. Here I configured passive interface default. That means all of these interfaces on this P router will not forward the OSPF packet, and then I configured this no passive interface for 0/0 interface and for Ethernet 0/1, because these two interface 0/0 and 0/1, these interface are active in OSPF exchange in this network. That means these interfaces will still able to forward and to exchange OSPF packets. In this scenario, specifically about MPLS labeling forward. Okay. Then I will do the same thing. Router ISPF1 MPLS LDP auto config passive interface default, and now passive interface for this PE1 router. The non-passive interface is this one, Ethernet 0/0. Enter and go to PE2 router ISPF1 MPLS LDP autoconfig passive interface default, and now passive interface is Ethernet 0/0. Okay, now we have configured or we have activated the MPLS. To check the MPLS configuration, we can trace route. For example, for trace route to 1.1.1, and the source is from 3.3.3, which is the PE2 loopback interface address, and hit enter. And now you can see there is labeling when forwarding the packet from PE2 to PE1. Okay, let's do the same thing from PE1. Trace route to the 3.3.3, and source is 1.1.1, and it also labeled the packet from PE1 to PE2. That means the MPLS is active, but we haven't done yet. Next, we have to configure the BGP networks for BGP configuration for these three routers. In order to enable the BGP VPN network in this MPLS. Okay, so I'm going to start from PE1, and I'm going to start from P router. Exit. Router BGP and IS number is 5000. Let's determine the router ID first. BGP router ID, which is our loopback interface for P router, is 2.2.2.2. And neighbor ports to PE1, remote IS is still 5000. This is IBGP configuration, and update source loopback 0, and we are going to make this P router as route reflector router and the others as route reflector client. Enter, and we do the same thing to the neighbor PE2 3.3.8.3 remote IS 5000. Okay, source loopback 0 and route reflector client. Okay, now we move to PE1. Go to BGP configuration, drop BGP 5000, and BGP router ID is 1.1.1. Neighbor, we only have to pair this PE1 to P router only, because the P router is our route reflector router. So neighbor 2.2.2 remote IS 5000, source will take 0. Okay, now it's up. Now we're moving to PE2 and do the same thing for BGP thousands. BGP router ID is 3.3.3. Neighbor, we only peer to the P router 2.2.2 and what AS 5000. Its source look like 0. Okay, after configuring the normal BGP configuration, next still in BGP configuration, but now we are going to configure the VPN in our BGP configurations. So go to router BGP 5000 and activate the address only VPN version 4. Neighbor 1.1.1.1. First, we need to activate the VPN routing first to neighbor 1.1.1, which is to PE1, in order to make it enable to forward the VPN packet. Let's send community boot and hit enter. And root reflector client. We do the same thing to the PE2. Neighbors 3.3.3. Activate. Send community boot. And root reflector client. Okay, we're moving again to PE1. Now we are still in BGP configuration, so just directly type address family VPN P4 and neighbor 2.2.2.2. Activate. Send community bolt. Okay, it's enough for PE1 and PE2. Address family VPN version 4. Neighbor 2.2.2.2. Activate and send community bolt. Okay, we can verify the configuration. Do BGP VPN show BGP VPN v4 uniqueness. Okay, it's still first. So VPN BGP summary, it's been up. MPLS forwarding table. Okay, now after configuring the BGP to all of these routers, the last step we need to do is to enable the VRF configuration for this PE router, PE1 and PE2. First, let's go to PE1. make the VRF, we can type this command VRF definition and just type the name of the VRF. For example, this VRF is for bank 1. Hit enter, and then don't forget to configure the address family IP version 4. And here we also need to specify the route distinguisher or RD, and for example RD is 1 and 1, so RD is used to distinguish the route packets because we have two different customers here. So with RD configurations we can this router can make a distinguish about the incoming packets and where should it forwards the packets. So the packets will be forwarding to the right destinations using this route distinguisher. For example, I'm going to make RD1 double colon 1 for this bank 1 for this customer. Just hit enter, and route target. Here we have three options: route target, export, import, or both. Route targets is also used to make this router enable to forward incoming and outgoing VPN packets. So because we want to make this router enable to uh, forward the incoming and outgoing VPN packets, so we can choose both here. And don't forget to uh, specify our RD, because our RD is 1 double count 1 for this VRF thing 1. So just do like this and hit enter. Okay, let's jump to the PE2, and we will do the same thing for the VRF configurations. VRF definitions still for bank 1. Wait, and make sure you type the same name for the VRF, because in this case scenario, suppose that this is bank CE1 bank 1 and CE2 bank 1 are the same bank. For example, this bank is the HQ and this bank is the branch office, for example, from the same bank companies, and they use the same MPLS VPN backbone network in order to still have a secure community using the shared connection, which is this is also used for by this company 1 and the other company 1 to communicate with using the same link or the same backbone but with the different route. So the route or communication between them are still secure using MPLS VPN. Okay, let's continue the configuration for bank 1. The RD is still the same because we want to make this CE1 bank 1 and CE2 bank 1 can still communicate with each other, so we use the same RD. And for the route target, just do the same thing like before. I'm sorry. Okay, next we also have to apply the PRF configuration to the interface that connects to the right PRF. For example, let's jump to PE1 again. Here I just made the PRF for this bank 1. That means we need to apply PRF to this interface Ethernet 01 that connects to CE1 bank 1. So just click exit first, interface Ethernet 01, PRF, forwarding, and type the PRF name bank 1. Okay, because I haven't assigned the IP address, so I also will assign the IP address for this interface. For example, 10.10.10.1 with the slice 30, which is 252, and now shut down. Okay, we do the same thing for this PE2 interface Internet 01, PRF forwarding bank 1 for the PRF's names, and IP address is 10.10.10.5 255.255.255.252. Okay, there is. Okay, there is a misconfiguration for the PRF. I'm sorry. Let's see first. Let's go back to our PRF forwarding. Our PRF definitions. I forgot to assign this or to execute this command. IP address family IPv4. Okay. And for RD is 1 and 1, and for the root target both for 1:1. Okay, go back to interface Ethernet 0/1 PRF forwarding bank 1 and address 10.10.5. Now shut that. Okay. Okay, so the basic configuration for establishing the MPLS backbone, MPLS VPN backbone to for this provider network, yes, done. So next, I'm going to continue to connect from this PE1 to our CE1 bank 1 to these customers using routing protocol EIGRP, as well as from this PE2 to CE2 bank 1. I'm gonna connect it with EIGRP routing protocols. Okay, maybe that's all for this video. I'll continue later. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.